What's up, guys? Welcome back. I'm Craig here. First off, I want to apologize for the long absence. This last month of winter, oh man, winter just couldn't get his hands off of me and my wife. It seemed like every other week we were sick. She was sick and got me, or I was sick and I got her, and it was just back and forth. So I just didn't have the energy to, excuse me, to film. So now that we're back and I'm feeling healthier, let's talk about some virility. Let's talk about a movie with virility and health and athleticism. I want to talk about Gentleman Jim. Now, Gentleman Jim is a boxing movie from early Hollywood, from 1942 specifically. Now, everybody talks about Rocky, rightfully is the greatest boxing movie of all time. It really is. Sloan crafted something that hasn't been matched since in terms of sports movies. Gentleman Jim was the Rocky of classical Hollywood, the inspirational story of a man from the working class overcoming odds to become a world champion. And unlike the first Rocky, spoiler, where he loses and he wins in the sequel, Jim becomes champion. It's about him becoming the world champion in the end. The Jim is James J. Braddock, the original scientific boxer, with footwork and all that, instead of the old bruisers with the arms down and the bare knuckle after that, represented by John L. Sullivan, the great boxer at the time. And Jim is played by the immortal Errol Flynn. Now, some of you guys might not know who this man is. He was the original Hollywood bad boy. He went on adventures from Australia and Papua New Guinea. He was from Tasmania. He traveled the world, went to the Spanish Civil War, had a statutory rape trial, which he was acquitted of, which is where the line "In Like Flynn" comes from. As the title of the biography says, "My Wicked, Wicked Ways." So this man perfectly exemplifies, a virile hero. And in Jim, he nails the role. It's his best role. He's most famous for The Adventures of Robin Hood, which has been parodied from Looney Tunes all the way on to Robin Hood Men in Tights with Carrie Always by Mel Brooks. But this is his best movie where he plays James J. Braddock. It's a virile movie. And what the story is, he starts as a working class banker from an Irish family in San Francisco. And he works his way to the local athletic club, where he integrates himself with the boxing champion. He's very athletic and they want a demonstration. He impresses them and they hey, we can raise our standard with this fighter to try to clean up the boxing world, because in many states it was illegal then. It was, like I said, the bare knuckle. So it was very illegal. And they were trying to bring in the new Marquis of Queensberry rules with gloves and 3-minute rounds and all that. And so they take him on and he starts winning. And the movie is a journey of him winning, this working class boxer, becoming world champion, where in the end he defeats the great John L. Sullivan. Again, it's a spoiler, but it's boxing history. It's based on a true story. What makes this movie magnetic, it's like Rocky, is the characterization. Flynn is at his absolute best. He's cocky but lovable. He's charming. He's athletic. He's basically playing himself on screen, and it works magically. He just exemplifies every scene. He can't be beat in it. But the supporting cast is also a big one. The standout is Alan Hale, who played Little John in Adventures of Robin Hood, and his son later became the skipper in Gilligan's Island. He plays Flynn's father. He's got this thick Irish accent he's putting on, and he's just a lovable, charming, dedicated father doing whatever he can for his son to succeed. And he just steals every scene he's in, as does his brothers, who were constantly fighting. There's a running joke of the Corbetts are at it again as they're fighting. Flynn's character Corbett comes from this fighting family where they go and fight in the barn at the father's stable. So that's why he's a natural boxer. He's able to rise through the ranks. But for me, the other standout is Ward Bond. Ward Bond was one of the great character actors of classical Hollywood. You'll see him as one of the cops in It's a Wonderful Life. He's Clayton, the marshal in The Searchers with John Wayne. He epitomizes, he plays John L. Sullivan, the original heavyweight champion of the world from Boston. And his role really should have gotten him an Academy Award. I'm not joking. He should have won the Best Academy, the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. He is magnetic because it's a broad range of the role. At first, he's peacocking. I can lick any man in the world. He's showboating to the world. Then there's a scene when Flynn's trying to bait him into bringing it into a match, and he's like, how dare you? How dare you? Just hang here. But the key is the final scene where after Corbett beats Sullivan comes in, gives him the belt, and it's one of the most touching scenes where Ward Bond brings it down. And he plays this beaten man who realizes he's not in his prime anymore, and his time has come, and he's passing the torch because he's now been knocked off his throne, and his time is over. It's a wonderful scene. Ward Bond should have gotten the Academy Award. But the movie has this great virility, this pacing. Now, I look for things to complaining movies. I'm trying to be a legitimate, honest critic here and say this is bad, this is bad. I have nothing bad to say about this movie. The movie is pitch perfect. Pacing, script, characterization, the fight scenes. The director, Raoul Walsh, who also made with Errol Flynn one of the manliest movies ever made, that died with their boots on, the biopic of General Custer. He directs the shit out of this movie. The pacing is incredible. Even the boxing scenes where you're flipping between the fights, which Flynn did most of himself. He was a trained boxer. Little Hollywood trivia. He actually got in a fist fight with former amateur boxer director John Huston, who did The Maltese Falcon and Treasure of the Sierra Madre, over Olivia de Havilland, and knocked him down a couple times, much to John Huston's surprise. And Errol Flynn, he just weaves through the gym. You can see his natural athleticism in every fight scene in the ring. And Rawls cuts between the boxing, his legs moving back and forth, epitomizing the scientific boxing the Corbett brought in, to the fan reaction. It's also, there's old-time Hollywood tricks in this, like we know what a montage sees it, and they do this, the old Hollywood montage of the different newspapers spinning around, and you land on the headline, Corbett wins this, Corbett wins this, Corbett brings down this champion, this fighter. They don't do that anymore. I was wondering if Hollywood today would do something like just have a bunch of like headlines on media, like social media posts, like Twitter posts about headlines. I wonder if hey, Hollywood directors, if you have any creative bones, do something like that. If you're going to do a montage, do like a different tweets montage. And then for me, one of the great scenes is at the end, and there's another Hollywood old trick where you have the joke of three. Now, the joke of three is you do a joke 3 times, and each time and the third time it pays off. This is the Corbett's are fighting again, as his brothers are constantly going at it. After the John L. Sullivan fight at the end, Errol Flynn is with the girl who's been ducking him and badmouthing him, betting against him the whole time. Love-hate relationship. At the end, she finally falls for him. And as he kisses, you just see a chair fly through the window of the hotel they're at, and all of a sudden the camera zooms in towards that separate and go, give him space, and his brothers are fighting again, and he goes, the Corbett's are fighting again. Just the way the camera zooms in as the dad gives him space and then zooms back out to show them fighting, it's magical. There's old-time Hollywood filmmaking. This is the Hollywood system of the 1940s, recipe by Warner Brothers. The system, the Dream Factory as it was called then, of the whole studio system. This is just it at its peak. Nothing can top this movie in terms of, the movie's perfect. And I say men should watch this today because it's a very virile movie. In our modern age, masculinity is demeaned. We all know this. I'm not saying anything controversial. Everybody knows this. There's no strong men on screen anymore. They're broken. Flynn's character is not broken. John L. Sullivan's character is not broken. His father's character is not broken. They are men of their time, men striving for things, and they are fighting to get them, both physically with Flynn, but also his father, who's financially helping his son trying to move things around. And also, another thing that's not lost in Hollywood movies today is an intact family. There's no disappearing father. The mother's not an alcoholic. It's a loving, caring family looking out for each other. And Flynn's character is an honorable character that looks for his family. When he needs to put money up to get the Sullivan fight, he refuses to take money back that he gave to his family for a better house and a better life. It's a movie that will inspire you to fight for your goals as a man, but also teach you to care for the things you prefer. So the fighter, the protector, the provider. It's just movie magic. You have to watch it. The performances from Ward Bond and Errol Flynn and Alan Hale, incredible. The direction by Raoul Walsh is bar none, perfect. If you're a man, this is a movie you should watch today. It's a rare thing done today. And even in a boxing movie, I mentioned Rocky, you got Raging Bull by Scorsese. Great movie, but it's really a downer. This movie's not a downer. It inspires you to greatness and to better yourself and look out for those you care about and not give up and just be tenacious and keep going. This is a movie every man should watch today, along with other Errol Flynn books and also Errol Flynn movies. And also, if you can, get this book. It's incredible. The Life of Flynn. I read this in college, and that's how I discovered Flynn when I was in college 20 years ago. And it was on TCM. They did their Summer Under the Stars, where they do a different movie star. Every day was movies. That's how I discovered Flynn. Also how I discovered Charlie Chaplin. But this book will inspire you as a man. But it's also deep and reflective, just like the character in this movie. It's an incredible movie. Gentleman Jim, by Raoul Walsh, starring Errol Flynn. It's a 10 out of 10, A+, perfect old school Hollywood movie. This was the boxing movie before Rocky. Every man should watch it. And as always, he who rules the imagination rules the world.